3 months ago, I got a suggestion from my coder friend to try out Cursor. And man, it was a journey. I was able to create an MVP for myself with HTMX and Go in 2 hours without needing to do much coding myself. I was going through issues with agent mode and working on other stuff while the agent did its magic. The agent is awesome. It can search through files, it can understand the context pretty well by just providing the files that it needs, and then it automatically understands what it needs to do. It can even suggest command line commands and execute them as well. The auto suggestions felt smooth, writing code felt smooth, the fact that I could pick any models that I wanted to use was awesome, and what was also great was basically the pressing tab gameplay. I ended up pressing tab so many times because it was just fixing the right stuff. For example, I was once changing the translations and I needed to add a property to each translation. It understood what I wanted, and all I did was just press tab, 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 and then it was done. But after using it on some other projects, well, at this point, if you have developed any software, I'm pretty sure you've been on projects that have more than maybe, I don't know, like 10,000 lines of code, 50,000 lines of code, something like that, right? And you should know by now that AI is not necessarily always good with its responses, right? So, and sometimes it can really suck, honestly. So, for example, I had to refactor some form logic code, and what it ended up doing was deleting most of the logic from the form, and then like not fixing some certain bugs, and then in general just making me a little bit more confused about the codebase. So much so that I ended up rewriting it like 3 or 4 times before I actually got the desired result. And I get it, it's not Cursor that is at fault here, right? It's the LLMs, they are not perfect. They won't be perfect for probably a really long time, honestly. And because of that, what really matters when you're programming with such software is proof checking your code, right? Because if you don't proof check your code, what will end up happening is that AI will write so much slop that you won't understand what's going on in the code base, basically. My suggestion would be to limit the usage of Composer, especially for the agentic mode, because sometimes it can write so much dumb shit that it can even ruin your code base, honestly. And which, by the way, also, Cursor has a YOLO mode. Don't enable it, please. Now, where I noticed some hiccups, and maybe they are fixed at this point, but right now, I noticed that sometimes Cursor just randomly restarts itself. Now, I'm not sure whether it's VS Code's problem or it's an issue on Cursor's part, but if that could be fixed, that would be great. Now, I'd say if you're coding on Cursor, be careful and look through what it actually gives out. If you're working on smaller projects, it really excels. Like, it knows all of the context, it can do all of that stuff, the UI is honestly pretty amazing, and the tutorial for it was also pretty simple, so I ended up understanding how to use Cursor pretty fast, honestly. But if you're a solo founder or someone who's constantly creating projects, I think it's a really great tool to iterate on MVPs. Now, if you're interested in knowing what kind of project you should create as a programmer, I suggest watching this video.